Hello, my name is Sean and welcome back to, again, not the note block lamp. We'll get there, don't worry. I'm actually recording this a little after because this is the other project I mentioned in the last video, and so I'm trying to get as much recording done as I can now. I am finishing the recording for that one as we speak and starting the recording for the next project now. And this one is not origami. This one is actually something a little different. It is something that actually ended up for my mom, who, by the way, if you've wondered, has actually the encouragement for why I'm such a creative ding-dong. I don't want to get too mushy, but my mom always encouraged my artistic talents. Thanks, Mom. But as an aside, and not to be mushy, this was initially supposed to be, or what evolved, was initially supposed to be for me. As I said, I make very few things for me. This initially was going to be this amazing, triumphant idea. I really love, and I'm going to butcher it, it's Marles. I call it, say, Marley, from Chrono Trigger, the princess. Her song I love, especially the music box version, and I would love more than anything to get a mechanical music box that plays that song. And so I'm on the hunt for that. Don't know where I'm gonna find it. A few places I may have found online this morning, but we'll see if I find them or not. I turned the lights off. That's slightly different. We'll see if the lighting's any better in this video. Anyway, I digress again, because I like to do that. What am I making? So the initial idea was to make a copy of the Chrono Trigger, if you've ever played the game Chrono Trigger. And in the game, spoilers, it's a 20-year-old game, so I'm sorry if I ruin anything for you. There's an item in the game called a Chrono Trigger, and it is an egg. It is nothing more than an egg, and if I can do it right and won't get tagged for copyright, there is a copy of the original art right here. And if I've done this right, you can see it's actually a really boring picture. And that really sucked for me because I remember in-game this thing being amazing. And then I remember the point at which I remember it's amazing is the point where it's actually shattering. And then I was like, well, cool. Instead of making like the shattering egg, I'll make, you know, like a cool, or instead of making like the actual egg, because the idea was to get a mechanical music box, make a box for it, put the egg on top. That way when I play the song, I have the Chrono Trigger on top, which would be amazing, and I'm still gonna make that for me because I want that, and it may take years, but I'm gonna make it. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm getting excited. So that failed, or is on hiatus at the moment. And then I really like the idea of the egg carving, and I saw a video by a YouTuber whose name is Bobby Duke, and I will hopefully put a link, or at least I will, with the full intent want to, but whether or not I remember to, put a link in the doobly-doo to his channel because his stuff is freaking amazing. Oh my god. Anyway, he carved an egg too, to be precise, and I thought, man, that is amazing. So that's what I'll do. I'll fill one with resin, and I'll like carve out designs of like the egg breaking, and it'll be this amazing like camera shutter style stuff opening up, and it'll look so cool. And I started working on it and started sketching it and came up with this initial idea. I don't know how well it's coming through, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion because it looks like it looks like an Easter egg. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna make an Easter egg, I might as well make an Easter egg. So I've got the design for the egg on hold. I have an egg now. It's a duck egg, and so in my doodling, if we go back to the book, because I love my book, you can see I've got designs there for somewhat of an Art Nouveau style plants. And so that's what I'm going to do is, the plan now is to, I've got a hole, got to make it a little bigger, I think. I also got to figure out how to carve the egg, because unlike the last video where the intro was done before or done after, this is actually being done before I figured things out. So the plan right now, I think, is to maybe make the hole a little bigger. I got to mix up a batch of resin. I figured how to dye the resin. I did an experiment on that. In fact, I'm going to edit right now, and through the power of editing, worked on dyeing some resin, which actually turned out really well, and I was super happy. Food dye. So yeah, we're gonna dye it probably this color, I think, put it in this egg, and then I don't know how, but I'm going to carve out sections of the shell with these Art Nouveau style designs, and I'm going to recreate a very stylized scene of nature, like a field or something. Carve out maybe a sun on the top, do the plants along the side. I don't know what I'm going to do for the bottom just yet. I'm dithering on an idea of doing like grasses, stylized grasses that go down. I'm not sure yet. This is kind of foreign territory because I don't carve things, I fold things. This is what I do, but I really love the idea. After seeing his video, I was like, oh my freaking god, that's way better than just putting a plain old egg on top of a music box that plays a song that nobody's going to know the reference to except for me and other uber nerds that are probably squealing at what I've done. But this is something that people can appreciate even if they don't know. And ideally, I'm probably this is my mom for Mother's Day, which is tomorrow. So this is late. Sorry, Mom. Love you. Never was one for being on time. But yeah, this is probably going to take a little while. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to record the whole thing, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I hope you're excited, because right now this is kind of cool, because I don't know where this is going to go. I have an egg in my hand, and this is potential right now. And what this potential is, I don't know. I don't even know what's going to happen when I pour the resin in. I really hope it doesn't break, because in the experiments that the artist I mentioned, the YouTuber Bobby Duke, he used an ostrich egg, and it cracked a little. And so I'm really nervous that it's going to happen with me. So one of the things I want to do is actually increase this hole, and I think I'm going to cut this boring part out of the video. I'm just going to take like a nail file or a small file and just like file it bigger. I'm thinking I might need to buy a Dremel. My turtles are currently fighting over a rock because they've now decided that one rock is better than the others. But again, I digress. Hope you guys enjoy. I hope that this turns out amazing, and yeah, we will continue with doodling and working on what everything is. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't do carving, so this is kind of cool and kind of exciting, and I'm nervous as all get up. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. See ya. All right, so we're gonna do work on now is filling the egg full of resin. I've taken the egg, I've filled it full of water. I basically filled it till it's full, emptied out and measured the amount of water. It worked out to about 135, 140 milliliters. So we got that there. I figured out the amount of resin I'm going to need, and instead of measuring it, I just was really lazy and estimated by drawing lines on the bottle. That was super scientific, and I'm very proud of that. What can I say? We've got the violet dye that we're going to use to dye it, as well as the stir sticks, where we're going to slowly add in amounts just to make sure we get it right. And then, because I don't actually have a funnel, I found out as I was going through and trying to prep everything, I've got a small corner off the Ziploc baggie. I'm going to fill it full of the resin, which I'm going to mix in this cup, pour it into here, and I'm going to pipe it in kind of like icing. And I don't know if that's going to work, and I really hope it does. This is totally going to be an experiment. But the fun part about experiments, folks, is you can fail, and from failure you learn. And you know what? It's important to keep failing so that you keep learning. We are a species that builds on failure. And with that said, let's see if I fail. Terribly. Ah! Dark. It's full. I don't know what to do now. Okay, so the egg is full. It's foaming at the top, which is a good sign. Lessons learned. Don't do what I did. That was terrible. Icing works because it's a semi-solid mass. Resin, on the other hand, is a liquid, and that doesn't work. So my idea was flawed. Now we just gotta let this dry. Thankfully, it's about 27 degrees Celsius out right now, so it should harden quickly. I just have to figure out how to get it outside now, because I didn't leave the door open, and I don't really want to touch the door with these hands, and this is a mess. This needs to be thought out as a better process. See you guys in a sec.